Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Dan and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I'll also pin this video at the top of my channel just so anyone new watching it can learn quickly what it's about. I'll take you through today exactly what my channel's for, what sectors will I cover, how will it add value, a tracker that I'll be using on a continual basis with the gradings, and I'll just take you through that and explain it. And then finally, if you could like, subscribe and turn on notifications, that would be brilliant and really help me build the channel. I'll put my contact email at the bottom as well, just in case you ever want to get in touch and discuss stocks rather than in the comments section on YouTube. About me, so what do I do as a day job? Well, I'm a purchasing manager at Jaguar Land Rover, so nothing I discuss on here will conflict with that. I've got an NDA in place at work, so I take that very seriously. I have played poker on television when I was at university. But moving on from that, I love stocks, love business and researching. You spend all my kind of free time doing it. That said, though, I'm not a financial advisor, so kind of take my videos and tips and kind of information as just that. It's just information, and these videos are for entertainment purposes only. In terms of my style, like I really enjoy day trading. It's probably the most kind of adrenaline rush you can get from it. I also enjoy doing longer term investing as well and researching kind of companies that could be like the next Tesla or Amazon. In terms of the final point, no pump and dump. Like if you're coming here for stocks you're going to pick up that you think you're going to make 20% on kind of overnight, it's not the place for that. It's longer term value plays generally that I'll review on the channel. So what is my channel for? It's to help you research essentially. So use it as another feed into your overall decision making process. Don't just solely make decisions based on what I'm saying in my videos. I'm here to help you try and find value, but not everyone gets it right all the time. I certainly don't. I've had some big wins and some big losses. It happens. That's investing. I do want to help people from stop making bad investments. So companies like Enphase Technologies. So if you look at their investor pack, it looks brilliant on the face of it, but when you actually dig into it, there's some pretty big debts there, and they've only got one customer. So if they lost that, they'd be really in a lot of trouble, probably looking at kind of bankruptcy status. So I want to try and raise some red flags around companies that to stay away from, because you do see a lot of pumping and dumping on like especially Discord, Twitter, places like that. And then finally, review on demand. So whilst I'm growing the channel, it'd be really great if you can drop into the comments like companies that you'd like me to review. Happy to spend some time going through kind of their accounts, looking at what they've got going on, look at who their customers are, all these different types of things. Really interested to have like an interactive community. What sectors will I cover? Well, first of all is electric vehicles. So obviously working in automotive, I really like what Tesla have done, what companies like Romeo Power, QuantumScape, Lucid, with the CCIV potential merger, what they're doing, fantastic sector. It helps us all tomorrow. And technology, so companies like AMD, Intel, Nvidia, wider tech as well. So like disruptors like Bumble, people like that. It's really interesting. I love all those different types of companies that are doing interesting things with technology to make our lives easier. Property, so like Opendoor, Redfin, Zillow, all those types of companies, really interesting. Trying to disrupt the market, the property market in America. A lot of potential upside there if they get that right. Biotech, by no means am I expert on biotech. Not many people are, but it's pretty easy for even the layman to see where a biotech company can fix a massive issue in the world. Cancer, if anyone had a one size kind of drug that treated all cancer, it's fairly easy to understand what their kind of growth trajectory would look like going forwards. And then hot stock, so everything that happened with GameStop recently, AMC, BlackBerry, Nokia, there's loads going on in that kind of Reddit space. I am on Reddit, I do post on Reddit, really enjoy it. But obviously you have to watch out because you need to get in fairly early or at the right time, and you don't want to be the kind of person that's looking at that, looking at investing in GameStop when it's hitting 420.69. So hopefully I'll help you avoid a few dodgy moments like that. So how will I add value? Well, first thing to note is that I do a lot of research. So outside of work, it's basically my hobby. I really enjoy researching companies. You'll get access to data that I pay for. So I'm subscribed on a few portals where I get data that I think is really, really valuable and really kind of helpful to consider when making a balanced decision. My success is only as good as yours, so I'm not going to kind of go on here saying invest in such and such company and then you go invest in it and then 5 minutes later it dumps and it's like, well, great, no one's going to come back and watch. So I look for long-term plays, long-term value plays as well. Total transparency, so willing to share my journey. I had some big wins, I've had some big losses. It's key for me that I have transparency with you guys watching it, because you need to be able to trust in the decisions that I'm making, otherwise you can't really get much value from it. And finally, like fun, I have a lot of fun at work. I enjoy my job. I want to enjoy this. I want to have fun with you guys. So a lot of interaction. I think it'd be easier to have a bit of fun on a live stream. But anyway, like I'll try and inject a bit of fun into my videos, because you can't be perfect all the time. So you do have to have a bit of a laugh at yourself. So when I say I do a lot of research, what exactly do I mean by that? So I look at SEC filings because I think it's important. You find a lot of information out about companies that they don't often kind of disclose publicly. It is there, but you have to go and look for it. I use Simply Wall Street, which is a paid service, so it's really good on kind of market caps above 250 million. I think anything below that, I'm not 100% sure it's accurate. Finviz, Benzinga, LinkedIn. I find LinkedIn really, really good, a really good tool just to go and research whether a company has got as many employees as they say. Now, obviously not everyone's going to be on LinkedIn, but when you go on and you can't really see anyone that works for that company, and they're all either consultants or a shared resource, that's when you should be getting red flags, because maybe what follows in their investor presentation isn't totally accurate, and that's when you should also link back into the SEC filings and so on, and just have a little look. I mean, I've talked about it earlier, like Enphase Technologies, 130 employees or 120 employees in their investor presentation. Go on LinkedIn, and I think you'd struggle to find kind of 20. They're all shared resource, they're all contractors, so just be careful with what's in the investor presentation, because sometimes they are skewed and they're a bit of a marketing pack rather than an actual investor pack. Social media, so I use Reddit, I use YouTube, StockTwits, Twitter. There's some good accounts out there, but you just got to be careful again, like the pump and dump stuff. There's a lot of it at the moment, especially with penny stocks. I'll pull together as well a list of all the information that I use, all the websites, all the links, all things like that. Then you can go and kind of look at your own leisure and do, determine what you find useful and which ones you don't find useful, because everyone's got different investing styles, everyone's got different things that they look for. So it's better, I think, if I share all of it, and then you can make up your mind what adds value to you. So I'll take you through the tracker as well that I've developed, which will obviously mature over time, but essentially I'll give you a quick summary, a snapshot of what and when I invested in or suggested as an investment, but not necessarily why. You'll have to watch the videos to kind of figure that out yourself. It'll give you my status against each position as well, and then the overall kind of rating and action. So I'll show you that now. This is the tracker that I've developed, so I'll just take you through Novomont Graphite as an example. Company name, ticker, then the exchange that I bought on or recommended to buy on. This is the date that it was reviewed. This is the price at point of reviewing it. And this is the price for the end of the week. So I'll update this as we go, which will ultimately impact kind of the delta plus or minus of where we're at. Everything scored 1 to 5. So financially, I scored them a 2, just because whilst they might have raised quite a lot of cash, they're going to burn through cash in terms of putting everything into place to allow them to do their operation. Growth-wise, I think they've got good growth over the next kind of 5 to 10 years. We'll have to keep an eye on longer term after that, because I'm not sure if graphite will play a big part in the battery industry going forwards, which is where they're really kind of focusing their growth on at the moment. Attractiveness, I think where they are in the world, when you consider that the cost of graphite, 30% of it can be logistics and movement from China, they've got a real good proposition there, and it could be attractive to investors, also to OEMs such as Tesla. It's been covered on quite a few YouTube videos that Tesla or GM are potentially looking at Novomont Graphite, and there's NDAs in place. Risks, I think Nouveau Monde Graphite are fairly low risk. I think there'll be demand for their product. I do believe that they need to kind of expand outside of graphite, so other kind of battery metals like nickel, copper would be really, really beneficial and help spread the risk. But overall, I think relatively low risk, especially in the next 5 to 10 years, with Imerys closing their North kind of Canada site because they've essentially run out of graphite. So I think they've got a real good proposition there. Overall rating, so again 1 to 5. I think Nouveau Monde's a real good prospect longer term. What am I doing? So I've bought, I've sold, and I'm watching. So I kind of cashed out on that one. I think you might see a little bit of a dip after the permits have been approved, but I'd be willing to buy back in. So in terms of action, I've put it as a buy, even though I'm not currently in it. Why do I think it's a buy? Well, last week when they announced that the permits were granted, it was a bit of a bear market. So everything else was going red, whilst Nouveau Monde Graphite was green. So I've sold because there may be a dip on it, but I think if you're going kind of long term and you're not really a day trader and you're not looking to get into kind of swing trades, I still think it's a buy. Believe in what they're doing. I think they've got a really good CEO, interesting company. $2 a share. I mean, this could easily be $10 in the future, in the near future. So just keep an eye on it. So I've taken you through a little bit about me, what my channel's for, what sectors will I cover, how will I add value, the tracker, and a bit of logic behind that as well. Also, if you can like, subscribe, and turn notifications on, really appreciate it. This video isn't an actual kind of in-depth review of any particular stock. However, it will be good for anyone new to the channel to understand exactly what it's about. So thank you for watching, and I'll be releasing a video shortly.